Hi, my name is Logan Lawler, and I'm in the Mechatronics pathway at CSI. My capstone project, to put it simply, is a mini arcade machine that runs the old school arcade game Galaga. There are many reasons why I chose this entertainment-based project over something more practical. One of these reasons is how it applies to my skills and experiences I learned over my 4 years at CSI. The skills that this project used were circuit building, soldering, woodworking, programming, design, art, game development, and especially Arduino. All these skills really worked in tandem with each other and created the product that you now see. On the process and my workflow through this project, I knew I wanted it to be small so it could fit on a desk, but also be picked up really easily, meaning someone could easily walk up and just know how to play it. This is what determined the size of the cabinet itself and the inputs for the game as well. The cabinet turned out roughly 13 inches tall and 8 inches wide, as you see in the CAD. The CAD itself was based off my original sketches right here, and was pretty straightforward when designing it. I knew it would be made out of wood, so I split the box up into pieces I knew I'd have to cut out. To assist with the cutting process, I printed out a 1-to-1 drawing with 0 margins on my printer so it would be accurate to the real world, so no measuring would have to be done in the end. This process would set me up for success as my box would be done later on the side. On to the programming and electrical. The electrical was pretty straightforward. I was using a Raspberry Pi 5, I knew that. I also used it with a Raspberry Pi OS that ran Linux. I knew Linux previously, so it was pretty straightforward to set it up. This led me into my programming, which was all I had left. I plan on making Galaga from the ground up in a game engine called Godot. This game engine can't really read inputs directly from the GPIO pins, so I had to get creative. I settled on the solution of programming the buttons to read a virtual keyboard, so Godot could read them like any other input. This simple solution worked flawlessly and needed next to no tweaking in the end. The game, however, was another beast in and of itself. I've had lots of experience with game development before, so the workflow was very simple, but I'd never taken on the programming into my hands myself. You can see some examples of the final code and project here. I won't get into the small details of how the game was made and how each segment of the code works, but let's just say it took a very long time. All that was left was screwing it into place, building the project, and making it run off boot. All that took roughly a day or two of almost ruining my Pi and dropping the box, but it all ended up well in the end. One of the biggest challenges was making everything run off boot, as when I plug in the Raspberry Pi or my arcade game, I would want it to start automatically and not have to set up anything. This required surfing many forums for hours and testing everything I possibly could. So much was learned from what to do and what not to do. Other than troubleshooting it over and over, my project went very smoothly. It turned out exactly how I imagined and played exactly how it was designed. It thrives in its environment with its target audience that it was designed for. Competitiveness drives the fun factor of this project and is talked about in my engineering notebook, as you can read. Overall, this project was extremely fun to make. I learned way more than I thought I would, and will definitely be experimenting with a Raspberry Pi in the future. Thank you.